Traditional mental music from Jamaica. That's the original music, that's the foundation of all the Jamaican music that you know. It's what gave rise to ska, to rocksteady, and to reggae. It has very strong African retentions, both in terms of instruments used and the rhythms, okay? It's a very simple music which relies heavily on improvisation, okay? And it's a music that was played back then when there was no electricity and that sort of thing. So all the instruments were acoustic. And for the simple country folks, they would use bamboo pipes. That's little pipes made of the bamboo. Who knows bamboo? Yes? Right. So they would be homemade pipes made of bamboo. A lot of the bamboo banjos would also be homemade. They would use like cheese tins, and they would stretch goat skins over it and make these instruments. Okay? The rumba box, which came to Jamaica from the Spanish islands, Santo Domingo, and Cuba, was brought to Jamaica by Jamaican workers who went to work on the sugar plantations in Cuba, and they brought this instrument and we adopted it, okay? Hence the rumba box, because the rumba was primarily Cuban rhythm, and it was used to play the rumba, so in Jamaica we call it the rumba box. It is still used today in all the mental bands that you can find in Jamaica. The name of our group is the Talawa Mentor Band. Talawa is a Jamaican patois word, which is primarily African. Talawa means little but great. Okay, when we refer to somebody being a little but talawa, it means that you're a small person, but you're really great. When we started, it was just the 4 of us here. And now we are actually 7 going on 8. So, you know, and when we first performed, we performed as a little mentor band. But as one, the MC at a particular function mentioned after we played, he said, you guys little but a talawa. So when we grew from being little, we had to become talawa. Mentor music is distinguished from most other music primarily by the accent on the 4th beat, which gives you that push towards that 1st beat, okay? And it is, that beat actually comes through to all the music we have. It is still evident in reggae, it is evident in the dancehall music, right? It's evident in our revival music. Revival music is religious music, which is primarily played by religious people, mostly using drums and so on, but very African, okay? In the old days, you would have mentor bands in almost every village in Jamaica would have their own little band, because the custom was, for example, when sugar was king, that you would have crockover, as it is called in some countries. Those of us who are from Barbados will know it as crockover. But basically, it would be like the sort of harvest dance that you would have after the crop. And the slaves would gather on the plantation and they would all play music. And the British, who was the colonizers at the time, would have their nice big bands and have a big ball. Of course, the slaves could not afford a nice big band, so they made their own instruments and had their own dance. Okay? The early music was not exactly as we have played it here, because it had a lot more of the English or European to it. And a lot of quadrille, mazurkas, and polkas was played at that time. So we're going to give you a little example of what very early music, and take in a little trip so you can see how the music evolved to what it is today. Let's start with a little quick